Millionaire fires his maid for stealing food, but when he follows her home, he bursts into tears. The moment he saw the half-empty plate and the trembling hands, something inside him snapped, but not in the way anyone would expect. Before we dive into this emotional journey, take a second. If you truly believe in kindness, second chances, and humanity, make sure to like this video, share it with someone who needs a reminder of compassion, and subscribe to the channel. Also, tell us in the comments where you're watching from. We love seeing how far these stories travel. Aman Shah was a man who believed in order, discipline, and control. As a self-made millionaire, he had built his empire from the ground up, brick by brick, sacrifice by sacrifice. His days were structured down to the minute, his expectations sharp as glass, and his trust in people almost non-existent. Life had taught him one lesson repeatedly: people take advantage of kindness. So he chose not to be kind, at least not openly. His mansion stood like a symbol of his success, cold and immaculate. Marble floors reflected the glow of chandeliers, and silence echoed through the long hallways. The house was maintained by a small staff, including a quiet woman named Salma, who had been working there for a few months. She was punctual, efficient, and almost invisible, which Aman preferred. But that morning, everything changed. Aman had come home unexpectedly early. A meeting had been cancelled, and he decided to review some documents in the quiet of his study. As he passed by the kitchen, something caught his attention, a soft clatter followed by hurried movements. He paused, his instincts sharpening. He stepped inside and froze. There, standing near the counter, was Salma. Her back was slightly hunched, her hands shaking as she held a plate of leftover food. Her eyes widened when she saw him, fear flooding her face like a sudden storm. The room fell into a suffocating silence. Without asking a single question, Aman felt a surge of anger. To him, it was simple: theft, betrayal, disrespect. He didn't care that it was just food. Rules were rules, and breaking them meant consequences. Within minutes, he had fired her. No room for explanation. No chance to defend herself. Just a cold dismissal and a warning never to return. Salma didn't argue. She simply nodded, her eyes glistening, and quietly gathered her worn-out bag before leaving, but something about the way she walked out stayed with him. The next few hours felt unusually heavy. Aman tried to return to his routine, but his focus slipped again and again. There was a strange discomfort sitting in his chest, one he couldn't explain. He replayed the scene in his mind, the trembling hands, the pale face, the silence. By evening, curiosity, or perhaps something deeper, got the better of him. He got into his car and drove out. He didn't know exactly why he was doing it, but he followed the direction Salma had taken when she left. The city slowly changed around him. The wide roads narrowed, the clean pavements turned uneven, and the grand buildings gave way to small, crumbling structures. Finally, he saw her. She was walking slowly, her steps tired, her shoulders heavy. Aman parked at a distance and followed her on foot, careful not to be noticed. She turned into a narrow alley and stopped in front of a small, broken door. What he saw next shattered him. Inside that dimly lit room were two small children, their faces pale, their eyes filled with quiet hunger. They rushed toward her the moment she entered, clinging to her like she was their entire world. Salma knelt down, holding them tightly, her own strength finally giving way as tears rolled down her cheeks. She opened her bag and took out the same plate of food, but it wasn't for her, it was for them. The children ate quickly, as if they hadn't seen a proper meal in days. Salma watched them, her expression a mix of relief and pain. She didn't take a single bite for herself. Aman felt something break inside him. The anger, the judgment, the cold certainty, it all crumbled in an instant. What he had seen as theft was nothing more than a mother trying to feed her starving children.